to the planet. Peace. This is Dr. Kostini Hashiel. Shout out to all my high frequency entities. Shout out to all the ancestors and angels out here. And shout out to all my pyramid builders that are awaking and the ones that are not awoken. You will be, so shout out to you. This video I am finna tell you about, first of all, there are two space companies in here, where there are more than one space company, numerous. This video will be about Earth-like planets in our solar system. And what I want to tell you about that is that NASA is part of the program. So NASA's job is to fool the masses and to provide the masses information that the government want them to know. Now, with that being said, there are numerous other private contracted space companies that have access to ancient technology, and what they've been doing is shooting down UFOs with these beams, and after they've been destroyed by falling, crash into the atmosphere, they restore it, take it apart, see how everything was hooked up, and they'll create their own in their own liking, as if they just didn't steal the idea. But before I continue, in the book Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper, he states that the government has made a deal with aliens, with bad aliens, and the deal is for hardware, they get software. So we get the hardware and they get the software. The hardware is the UFOs, and the software for them is bodies. And you want to know why people go missing? It's because of aliens and trafficking, sex trafficking, and youth blood sacrifices. And after they do the trafficking, they use the organs. Guess who need the organs? The non-solar people, not us. The people that are not solar beings need our organs. So you want to know where all the melanated kids go? They're being sacrificed. But anyways, let's get to this video. Now, a reason why I said that there are two companies, because NASA finally released this information. And this is coming from NASA, and they really is 44 million Earth-like planets in our solar system. But I just want to share with you how NASA is actually saying that they found Earth-like planets, not in our solar system, but in other solar systems. Now, or should I say in other galaxies. There are 44 million Earth-like planets in our galaxy. But in our solar system, there's not 44 million. Our solar system is the sun and the planets that evolve around the sun. That's our system. And again, solar system. We are solar beings. So for those who are not solar beings, you are a visitor in our system. So act like a visitor instead of acting like you created our matrix. Okay, so with that being said, and this is an older date. It says July 23rd, 2015. And on top of that, I will be showing pictures, and I will put a video at the end of me speaking. Now it says that the NASA's Kepler telescope, which they've been having sent out everywhere, and astronomers have discovered The first Earth-sized planet orbiting a star in a habitable zone. The range of distance from the star where liquid water might pool on the surface of an orbiting planet. See now see, this is part of the program. What you don't understand, there's no laws to physics. So there can be an Earth-like planet around a blue star. Around, it doesn't matter. There's no laws to physics. You have to understand that. There's only laws to physics in this matrix. Once you open up your third eye, there's no limits to anything, okay? But I still have to tell you what they said, because I don't want you to feel like I lied to you about anything. Oh yeah, I got my crystals up here, quartz, selenite, young amethyst, baby. Okay? Alright, now, while planets have previously been found in habitable zones, they are at least 40% larger in the size than Earth. And understanding their makeup is challenging. So, for the most part, that means that the humanoids, the Earthlings, or the melanated humanoids that live on that planet are a lot bigger than us. Mind you, that you remember that there is a belt of mountains of rocks and that's circling us because our planet was hit. Earth at one point was a super Earth. It's not now. They don't tell you about that, but some people tell you that's when the moon came out after they got hit, and some people say the moon came out when Earth was formed. We know that was false because the ancestors already told us that at one point there was no moon. Okay, and we know that the moon was placed here. We do. We know that the moon was placed here. Here we go. Okay, it says, although now this planet, that they stuck on this planet, they don't want to reveal that there are millions upon millions upon millions of Earth-like planets. But I just want to stick to the script here. And it says that its mass and composition is huge. Previous research, however, suggests that the planet size of this little planet, or a giant planet, is likely to be rocky. And we know of just one planet where life exists, Earth. That's a lie. So on top of that, you have to read things with your pineal. Mind you that they're not going to tell you everything. They're just going to give you one planet. They're going to give you a planet that's so far away from you that you wouldn't even worry about it. Like, but they're not going to tell you about the planets in your galaxy. They're not going to tell you about the planets in the galaxy right next to ours. They're not. But anyways, it orbits a star every 130 days and receives 1/3 energy from its star that the Earth gets from the sun, placing it near the outer edge of the habitable zone. On the surface of Kepler, the brightness of its star is at high noon, and on the brightness of as our sun appears about a half hour before sunset. So, okay, and the star that it rotates around is classified as an M dwarf or a red dwarf, a class of stars that make up 70% of the stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Okay, being in the habitable zone does not mean that we know that this planet is habitable. Okay, all planets that are alive host life. Understand what I'm saying. All planets that inhabits life. Meaning all planets that is alive inhabits life. Alright? Whether we live on the surface or inside the planet, we're everywhere. We are 90% of the cosmos, and most of us are melanated. As a matter of fact, all of us are melanated. As you look into the melanin in the sky, you know that where we come from. Okay? I'm gonna tell you the link to check this out. This is nasa.gov, and this is called NASA Kepler discovers first Earth-sized planet in the habitable zone of another star. I just want to bring that awareness to you, let you know that once you put religion down, you know that we were never alone. You are not alone. You have cosmic ancestors that are waiting on you to wake up. They would be foolish to come down here and help a bunch of zombies that would kill them. All throughout your fake religion and throughout the time of now, everybody kills their own. Malcolm X, done by his own people. That was a pure blood. That was a pure man. Martin Luther King had to be killed by the Europeans. Wasn't that pure as Malcolm. He was gonna shake shit up. Your Jesus, which represents the sun, in his fake story, he was murdered by his own people. So with that being said, your cosmic ancestors are going to fall back and wait till you wake up. When we wake up, we're going to get this grid. See, there's a grid around this planet that's holding us captive, where you can't come in and can't come out. So once we wake up, this grid will cease. Then they can help us. They're not going to waste their time and risk their life for people who's not ready to receive them. Because you're looking for a white hippie that's sitting on a cloud with sandals on. But peace to the planet. I love you. And enjoy this video that's I'm finna play.
NASA just announced the discovery of 500 new planets. They're all orbiting other stars, not our sun, but one of them shares some similarities with Earth. Meteorologist Tom Sater is joining us now with the details. How many similarities are we talking about?
Well, there's criteria to be Earth-like. This is such an interesting and profound statement, really, from the scientists of NASA. Let's back up first. Let's talk about this Kepler activity that we have seen and talked about. In fact, if we can get this, here we go. The Kepler spacecraft took off in 2006 from Cape Canaveral. Its only mission was to locate Earth-like planets. Now, they've actually discovered 4,700 objects, but 1,030 are confirmed planets. They're called candidates if they fit one of a couple criteria. What are the criteria? Let's run through these. You get an idea. This is really interesting stuff here. Criteria: similar to the same size as Earth, rotates around a sun like our star, our sun, and located in a habitable zone. Let's talk about the habitable zone. It's the Goldilocks zone, as you call it. You know the old story. This is just right. You get too close to the star and it gets too hot, too far away, and it's too cold for life. 1 in 5 stars has an Earth-sized planet in a habitable zone, all right? Now, we know more than this, too, because it was just in the last year that we found out, not only when you look at our habitable zone and how important the size is that we'll get to in a minute, it already has been kind of categorizing many other systems. Now, this is one from last year. It was called Kepler 62. Some of these planets maybe only fit one category of the criteria. Maybe they have 2, but you need all 3. Why are these, they found even last year, important to know about? If they're too small, they spin too fast for life. If they're too big, they're violent storms, and many have poisonous gases. You want one the size of Earth so it has some rock, all right? And that's what we're looking for. If you get the right distance for water and the right temperature for life, and you have a foundation of a rock like our Earth's crust and its mantle, then we're looking pretty good. Now, 1,400 light years away, they have found a planet that fits all 3 criteria and closest in all of the candidates yet. Here is our sun and our Earth. Now, we rotate 365 days. They found Kepler. Now, 452b. Actually, the sun is 452, so the planet is called 452b. It's close in its days of the year, but it's a little bit bigger. It's 60% bigger than Earth, so you would expect a longer and slower rotation. The sun is actually 10% bigger than our sun. But that's okay because this planet is 5% farther away. And it's interesting to note that the temperature is pretty close to the same. Now, at 1,400 light years, I doubt we'll ever be able to visit that, but this is the closest that they have come yet. Over 4,700 objects have been categorized. Amra, it's amazing to think that of all of that, they found one and have announced today that this mission will continue to search for planets much like ours. Closest yet.